and welcome to another episode of the Pop Shop podcast, which I believe is episode 8. I'm pretty damn sure this is episode 8.
Maybe. We don't know.
It'll say below, isn't it? It might say episode 7, but I'm 99% sure it's episode 8. As you might be able to tell already, this is the least organised we've been for an episode in weeks.
Yes.
But we're here. I'm here, and I'm
We're
Dan,
still
and
alive.
I am joined by the lovely, fabulous Christopher.
Woo! How you doing, fabulous?
Chris is still on.
Scotch.
Chris is still on a 2005 webcam for all you watcher
For all
people.
Yeah, all the retro people get involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a love letter to retro internet. Like you can always hear the dial-up tone.
I was gonna say it'll be like dial up. You just see me. I'll be like zooming in a minute, going hello.
Just pixel by pixel, like up and down the screen, like line by line.
It'll be like
Yeah.
loading in. But you know that
Right.
if I get really animated and really really into a topic, I will be like raging at you about right.
The
Be
thing is,
better.
though, will that delayed webcam be able to keep up with your quick wit? That's the real question.
No, my wit is completely slowed
razor
down
sharp.
since I've had this camera. I'm like delayed.
I mean, what was it you described it there, right? You said it's like me, it's slow and a bit behind or something.
That's exactly what it is. Oh, maybe a bit faster. But fuck. Oh, that's
Right.
me.
Okay,
Solid.
enough about webcams, but talking about crappy visual pictures and images, there was a trailer for She-Hulk.
This is it. They made the She-Hulk on my fucking webcam.
They filmed it on your webcam.
Like fucking yes, that's what's going on. Oh man, fuck!
Right.
Like, how many times did you watch that trailer? Did you watch it many times, or
I think I've two or three. I think I've watched it two or 3 times.
what do you think?
I'm looking forward to it, mate. I know that everybody's bitching and everybody's freaking out and everybody's
Everybody said Shrek.
it looks like Shrek, it looks like Sonic, it looks like whatever other CGI abomination you can think of, right? I think it looks fine. Do you know? I don't. Right? Maybe this
Are
is
you
just me.
attracted to her? Is that what that is?
Aye, mate.
Is that
No,
what you
but
think?
did you see the meme when it's the bit where she's jumped through the air and their big green feet are right in front of the camera and then it's really Quentin Tarantino? Quentin Tarantino's the other side. He's like his lips like while he's recording it. Like, yeah.
That's his Easter egg. That's his episode. Oh fuck me.
No, but I just think who cares because it's a superhero show. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I'm no kind of setting the bar as high as I should be. Like, because like fair enough, the MCU has kind of spoiled us with CGI, but she's a mutated woman. Green person in a suit, like, does it need to look that realistic? Like, it doesn't really bother me that much. It's dumb fantasy anyway, so I don't know. Is that just me? Like,
see, one thing that I was kind of thinking, what is this going to be? Because like now Hulk's permanently Hulk. He's not Bruce Banner anymore. Is she just going to walk about in her daily life, do her job as She-Hulk, and because she does it a wee bit, and
so.
She doesn't really a superhero. She just stops crimes she sees happening. I don't know.
The thing that they've kind of like screwed themselves with here, right? So in the comic, the difference between Hulk and She-Hulk is Hulk is an intelligent human and then an absolute green rage killing machine. Like, he's one or the other. Whereas She-Hulk can do both. She can be the big muscly brute and she's also still herself. She retains like her humanity and her personality and stuff.
Right. Okay.
But the MCU has evolved Hulk to the point that now he has got both. So you introduce this character and it's like, well, she's just the same as what he is now. Like, see if he was still traditional Hulk, then this would be interesting because it would be like, oh, a Hulk that can like speak and like, you know, think and do shit. It wouldn't be like outrageous. But I don't know. I just think next to Bruce Banner, who's already Professor Hulk. It's like,
I also think it's kind of. I mean, we're talking about fucking fantasy movies. It's all unrealistic. We're talking about fucking creatures.
Exactly.
But there was one bit where they were in like a restaurant, and I was like, and she's She-Hulk, and I was like, there's no way, there's no a crowd around her. Like, say, what the fuck are you? They're just leaving her alone. This world's mental. There's fucking green people about. Fucking.
Well,
who gives a shit?
Like Doctor Strange, there's octopuses cutting about in buildings and all that. Like it's just normal.
Big eyeballs in the street.
It's just
fucking
casual.
I know. But like it's like, do you think it's going to be, because I don't know if Moon Knight is connected. Like, I don't know if they would be the same as what they're. I don't know if Moon Knight's been like a second season. Do you think that this is what's going to happen with this? Like, it might just be a story not connected to anything, or do you think it might build onto something?
I think this will be more connected to the wider MCU because Bruce Banner's in it, and there's rumours that Matt Murdock's going to be in it because he's also a lawyer. And
of course! Imagine imagine that we're in like do you think it would be a courtroom drama? Like they just argue in court, and she'll go green when Matt's pure beating her, and he's like, like pure raging.
Yeah, blind dick.
Like, sustained. I object. Like she fucking grows up. Fuck.
But so I think he'll be in it, and I also think that it'll be more connected because you see Tim Roth. Abomination sitting in the cell, and we've seen him in Shang-Chi. But right, so that's a weird thing that's kind of needs explaining. So, right at the end of Endgame, Hulk is Professor Hulk, and he does the snap, and his arm gets all burnt and shit, right? And then the next time we see him is in the post-credit scene for Shang-Chi, where he is just Mark Ruffalo. Like, he's a hologram, but he's just Mark Ruffalo. But he's still wearing the sling for where his arm got all burnt and shit, right? And then we see him in this trailer. He's got no sling. His arm's back to like healthy, normal, but he's back to being Professor Hulk. So what's going on there? Does that mean that in Shang-Chi he was Professor Hulk, but his hologram is just a human version of him? But because like that makes sense, right? Like maybe if you're sending a hologram or something, you wouldn't send the big green version. You just send the old version, but why then would you include the broken arm? Like, why is his arm still in a sling? Do you know what I mean? That doesn't explain that. It's kind of messy.
Yeah, I don't know what they're trying to do because, like, see, is it named General Ross? Is that his name?
Like, he's also passed away. Yeah,
he passed away. So, like, was he like the kind of connection between a lot of them? You know, maybe they will.
Ultimately, in the comics, General Ross becomes the Red Hulk.
Yeah.
But I assume they're just going to do a different Red Hulk, but a different character. I don't know.
Is it Tim? Is it Tim Roth? Is that his name? I think it's
Tim Roth is Abomination. Yeah,
he's quite old now, isn't he? Though.
Like, Tim Roth's getting up there, I suppose. I guess.
So do you think he would be versing She-Hulk? Like she's going to be the main antagonist?
Well, that's well, I've got to say that. I think that's the thing about this show. We don't really know that yet, like who the main antagonist is going to be. I don't think it will be. I think he'll be an element, but I think I can actually see him being like maybe a bit of a threat, and they might have a fight. But I actually see him like helping her at some point because in Shang-Chi, like it was like he was Wong's pet. Like Wong was telling him go back to the cell, and like he was kind of ordering him about. So I don't know, or maybe he'll like get free of that, and then he'll start causing havoc, and she has to go and stop him or something.
Because we don't know where this is in the timeline. We don't know if it's back after Doctor Strange, because Wong is now trying to restore the kind of.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, we obviously know that Shang-Chi takes place after the snap, but as you're saying, like Tim Roth's Abomination, he could have been in that cell for like years at this point because we've not seen him since Edward Norton Hulk. Yeah. So this She-Hulk could take place before the snap. Like we don't even know if this is definitely post-snap. So,
but like
maybe that's why he's Professor Hulk.
Maybe. And he's not got that. He's not in this. Well, and then he's not in the sling.
Yes, but exactly. So he's not done the snap yet.
Yeah, he's not done the snap yet.
But then, where was she during Endgame?
Or maybe we've got a case to say, I didn't want to bring her in because she's not. You know, you could say it that way.
Or what's going on outside my window? Oh, it's the trees blowing. It looks like there's like God days coming in. Doesn't it? It looks like
the sun.
There's an angel outside my window.
He's knocking. No, he's coming.
But knocking. Death is coming.
It's the dream god. What's his name?
Midnight.
Midnight. No. Oh fucking hell! Oh, I'll come back to me. There's a dream
Sandman.
god.
Sandman.
Sandman, aye.
But
Morpheus! Morpheus, there you go. I think that's his name.
what were we talking about there about She-Hulk? Sorry, last night. I
Oh,
don't know what I was
because
gonna say.
the snap thing.
Right.
Like she was
Yeah.
before the snap of Endgame.
So, well, that's what I'm going to say. That could explain why she wasn't there in Endgame. Maybe she got snapped. Maybe that's how this series will end,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
then maybe that's why Hulk decided to bring everybody back because it's his cousin or some shit. I don't know.
Is she?
We'll
Is
see.
she? Is she? I've not really. I don't really know anything much about She-Hulk. Is she like same power as Hulk, or is she like more powerful, or what do you
Honestly,
think?
I don't know. I don't think she's as. I don't think she's as strong. I don't know.
Because I think Hulk has been totally nerfed in these movies. In the
Mm,
comics, he's a powerhouse.
yeah,
In the movies, he's literally hitting a car. In
yeah,
Endgame, he's like, "Ooh." Like what the fuck? This isn't the Hulk I saw in
yeah,
comics, man. The fuck?
yeah,
So
yeah. He has a bit. Yeah.
he's neutered.
But do you know what? This is the closest thing we're probably going to get to a Hulk movie. Like, we're never going to get a Hulk movie, so that's why I'm
How,
looking forward to this
is
because
that?
it's.
Because that's one thing I was trying to figure out. Like I was trying to watch the Spider-Mans, the new Spider-Mans on Disney
Mhm,
Plus. And I was like, I can find all like old like cartoons, but I
right.
can't find the actual movies, and that's because Sony,
Uh huh.
they have the contract of saying no, you can't stream
Right.
these movies. So is
That's
that the
bullshit.
same with Fox? Is that the same with Hulk? They don't want to
No.
share
So
that
Hulk,
IP.
it's kind of weird. Hulk still. So when they made the original MCU films, right? So the first Iron Man, and then Incredible Hulk, and then I think Iron Man 2. Those
Mm-hmm.
first three films were released through Paramount,
Mm-hmm.
in conjunction with Marvel. This is before
Mm-hmm.
Disney bought them.
Yeah.
Um, and even though Disney bought the rights to like the Avengers and also Iron Man and shit, I don't think they bought the rights to the Hulk. But I think
Ah.
they can use him in other movies, so that's why he's in Avengers and Thor,
Yeah, they can
and
use him
that's why
as
he's
like a
been in
side
loads of other
character.
stuff. But he's never had his own film. And as far as I know, that's still the case. I heard something that they were maybe going to like buy it out, whatever the deal is that's still in place, or that it was going to run out soon, but the deal was going to expire, and then they could just make a Hulk movie. But I don't
Mm.
know. As it stands, I think that is still in place, and that's why we're doing things like She-Hulk, just so we can have a Hulk thing.
Do you think, see, because it's kind of going into like the scientist territory and kind of elements, do you think you could see a Reed Richards? I know it's been kind of dropped in Doctor Strange, but
I
do you
don't see
think,
them.
nah,
I don't see them introducing. Oh, excuse me. I don't see them introducing Reed Richards in a
even like
She-Hulk TV show.
even on like a webcast when Hulk's trying
Uh,
to transform her, like he's like, I'm
mm,
doing this, I don't know what I'm doing, help.
I think the most you might see is like an email from him. You see
or
like an
like just
email,
hear him,
and it'll
just
be
like
like signed Mr. Fantastic. Like that'll be it.
oh.
I don't think we'll see him. I think the next time we'll see him is in the Fantastic Four movie. I don't think we'll see him until then.
See when seeing the Doctor Strange, remember I said like ages ago, I bet him that's why the directors like fucked off because he said he dies in Doctor Strange. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Like, so I was fucking right once.
Yeah. Yeah, could
But
be.
poor
Um,
fucking Hulk, man. Like I mean, I don't actually think it's as bad. I know I'd made a joke at the beginning, like you said it's awful, but I don't think it's as bad as what like Sonic had to get a rething retouch. I think
well,
it's just a shock to the senses seeing a big
so
green person.
people are saying like, "Oh, this should be delayed and this should be fixed and blah blah blah." I'm pretty sure, like they do listen to the feedback usually, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they probably have heard like people on Twitter and Reddit and stuff freaking out, and they might be touching it up a bit, but I don't think it will be delayed. I think Disney are
Nah.
so like they've got all these things in place to like
Drop
the
at a
way
certain time. Yeah.
the reason that Disney lay out like all the release dates like more than most studios, like we know like what they're doing up to like 2026. The reason for that is because they've got investors, and their investors have to know that if they put money in, they'll be getting something back. So they have to know what months of the year there's going to be a kickback, basically.
Hmm.
So that's why they're so strict with release dates, and that's why stuff doesn't really get delayed with Disney. Like usually they stick to it. I mean, obviously the pandemic pushed some shit back, and they had to reshuffle, obviously.
Hmm.
But now that that's out the road, short another pandemic happening, touch wood. I don't see it happening again. I
Aye.
think it will still stick. I think this will be the date, but they might. That's not to say that they won't like improve it between now and then, because it is like what July or something.
Is it going to be like episodic? Have you saw anything about that, or is
So
it going to be?
it is going to be episodic, and it's going to be longer than Moon Knight. Instead of being 6 episodes, it's going to be 9.
Oh well. So
Get 9 episodes.
is it going to be in the sense of no? I don't mean the episode. I'm not. But is it going to be every week it drops, or is it going to be here's She-Hulk?
No, it's weekly.
Because
that's the Marvel formula now. That's the Disney Plus Marvel formula now. Is weekly.
Because what's after this now? Is it not? What's the next thing? Is it Wakanda Forever, or is that?
So the rest of this year, I said July 1st. I don't think it is. I think it's August because I think next month is Miss Marvel. That's June, and then July is Thor: Love and Thunder, and then I think either August is August or September, but I think it's August. We've got She-Hulk, and then is it November? We've got Black Panther. So that's the rest of this year for Marvel. And so it's 4.
Because they never confirmed anything about like Armored Wars or anything like that, didn't they?
I think it was 2023. Secret Invasion, Armored Wars. They're doing that Echo TV show, which was that lassie for Hawkeye, the deaf girl. She's getting her own show next year. And then probably Daredevil, it sounds like, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
In fact, well, that's spoilers. That's going to be our topic.
Yeah,
it's going to be Daredevil on Disney Plus. So
speculation.
Stick around for that. There you go, a teaser for later.
Daredevil Plus.
Daredevil Plus. Top hosting there. Oh mate, I keep yawning. Right. Anything else about She-Hulk before we move on?
No, it's pretty greened. Pretty green. Fuck me. Pretty dry.
I'm in a pretty green jumper.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Right. So the other big superhero trailer we got this week was a trailer for Umbrella Academy season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Are you up to date with Umbrella Academy? Have you been watching it?
I've watched it. I've watched the last 2 seasons. Like the last season was kind of like I was like, oh, where is it going to go next? And then it went into another realm. So I'm guessing now, we're going to kind of continue it. I mean, I was kind of happy with just the 1 season, and then the second season,
Me too.
I was like, all right, okay, what's going on here?
But I liked the history stuff in the second season, go back to Kennedy and stuff, and I liked all that.
The assassination element, and him like going mental to try and one of the characters going mental to try and stop it. But what do you think? Are you like thinking? Because if you've got the same kind of perspective of me, it's like, oh, another season. I mean, I'll watch it.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a solid show. I think both seasons have been good. I think the writing's good, the acting's good, the music's really good.
It's a total different kind of. It's like I think it's in a nice, wee, unique area of superheroes where it's not connected to anything and it's taken into a different realm of just here's something that's weird and funky, you know. And
I mean, well, I think it's because it's not DC or Marvel Umbrella Academy. It's an independent comic, and it's also a comic that, even though I'm a bit of a comic geek and I have read the first volume of Umbrella Academy, I've not read anything past the first volume. So it's one of the few things superhero-wise that I don't know what to expect. And that's quite nice. So being able to watch something and just know where they're going to go. Like, see that twist at the end of season 2 where like there's the sparrows, which is what this season's about. I didn't even know that was... I didn't know that was coming. And
kind of thing.
I still don't know if that's from the comics or if that's just an original idea they made up for the show. So it's quite nice not knowing sometimes.
I mean, also, I guess this is a Netflix production, isn't it?
So
it's good to see a Netflix production go on to more than 1 season. I'm happy that they're not cutting it.
Exactly, 100%. And then Netflix, like, I know that there's been a lot of kind of negative shit about Netflix recently, like subscribers dropping and maybe introducing adverts and stuff. But they are like pumping out quite a lot this year because you've got this, you've got what's it called? Stranger Things coming next month, right?
Yep.
Ozark just
Ozark,
was last month. So there is a lot of big shows, and there's a lot of. I think there's a lot of reasons to keep Netflix at the minute. I do wonder if they feel like because they're raising their prices and shit, that they're going to have to do more to justify it, like put on more movies and more big TV shows, and how that's going to go.
I think
But
they will. I think they will be doing that. I think they'll be more conservative with their budgets. Like, I think sometimes people just got money just because fucking make something,
yeah,
and people might have took advantage of it. And like, you're like, well, like I can't remember the comic book, but there was a comic book series. It was like a Scottish writer,
hmm
and it was like one season, and it was kind of like it took a lot of money to make, and it just got.
right.
I can't remember what it was called. It was a big
Oh, Jupiter's Legacy.
Jupiter's Legacy. I watched like 2 episodes, and I was
Yeah,
like, "This is utter. What the
mate,
fuck is this?"
what a
Like,
shite. I
I know.
I spoke to the guy that was in it. See the guy that played the villain that had like the wee mustache and that. We were we, we were doing BGCP at the time, and we got to interview him. And honestly, what a nice boy he is, man. He's just this Welsh guy, and he's just a normal guy, and he was
No.
brand new. And I was like, we spoke to him, and I was like, "Oh, it was quality. That guy was really sound. Let's hope this show's good." And then I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, it's shit."
I know
It was so bad, and
it's from
I was so gutted for that guy, man, because he was such a nice guy, and I was like, "Oh, you're such a shite TV show, mate. I'm so sorry."
I know, because like Mark Miller is no a bad writer.
Hmm.
He's done.
That depends on who you ask. Depends on
I,
what year you're talking about as well.
I mean, like he done Old Man Logan. That's the one
Yeah,
I really remember him from, and
yeah.
I don't Civil War. I mean,
I've always said that Mark Miller's best when he's working for like a big publisher and he's got an editor. See when he's working.
he's got something to say. Wait a wee
I
minute,
know,
son.
hold on. Exactly. I genuinely think he needs
Gonna
that. I
put
mean,
the
George,
brakes
it's the
on.
same with George Lucas. Like, it's the same thing. Like, he needs an
Uh,
editor. Same with me, to
uh,
be honest. Same with I write stuff. Like, if you want to support me, I'll link an article that I wrote this week below the top 15 disappointing games of all time.
mhm.
You're looking at an 8,000 word essay. So I need an editor too, right? I'm not above it.
Whoa,
uh,
8,000 words, man! Fucking hell,
yeah,
well done.
it was a bit of a mad one. But
I can't even
again,
write a 500, man. That's
that's true. Like, no one asked me to do that. That's just what I just did. So I guess like Mark Miller's the same. Like, he just doesn't know when to stop. But anyway,
Anyway,
that's
sorry,
it.
Umbrella. That's
No,
a
but see
different.
that to bring it back to Umbrella Academy. That's the other thing about Umbrella Academy. I think it's better than anything Mark Miller's done. I'll say that.
Yeah,
And even
and on live action, would you say, or anything he's done?
anything that he's done independently. So, like, not
Ah, right,
Civil
okay.
War and Old Man Logan. But if you talk about, like, I mean, I don't love Civil War, but if you talk about, like, what's it called, Kingsman and, like, Wanted and
Yeah, I get it.
Kick-Ass, like, Umbrella Academy is better than any of them. So, in
Yeah,
my
yeah.
opinion.
hmm I mean, like
Um,
it's got some like I love like the actor in it. See, they get number 5. I can't
yeah,
remember.
yeah, five's
I,
great. But
I love him.
what is kind of like, I don't know how they're going to address it though. That boy's getting older, clearly, because he's like hit puberty stuff, and he's getting to be a wee,
I know. I because he's
and,
supposed to
and,
be
and he's
like a
still meant to be like, he's meant to be like what do you call it, like an
70-year-old guy.
everlasting, yeah, child. Like, he's meant to be like this eternal being, and it's like, no, he's like becoming a pure teenager. Like, what's going on?
Because the height issue, like he was like he was really small in the first season, and then he kind of
Aye,
got bigger. He's same as Ellen. I don't know if Elliot Page is
uh-huh.
that name? Elliot Page. So she's the same height as him now, and now he's probably the same height as the big Luther guy.
Luther.
Like, it's
So,
like
talking about Elliot Page, I found that interesting. This trailer, you see both Vanya and Victor, which is who Elliot Page is playing now.
is playing. Yeah.
So Elliot Page is in it before they transitioned and after they transitioned. So I assume they've written that at the show. I think that's going to be a part of the character, which I'm
Mm.
glad that they're either not just not addressing it, or because that would be kind of weird.
Yeah, it'd
So
be weird. Yeah.
I think it's good that they've kind of like worked it in the show. It'll be interesting to see what they actually do with it. Like, how
Because
they.
it was when she was Vanya, was she not the most powerful being of the team, and she didn't know,
Yeah, that's the thing about
So
Vanya.
it's like
Vanya is the character that the kind of whole thing's based around. She's basically like
the one that
Scarlet
got
Witch or
the
whatever.
one
Like,
that got hidden and like told she was useless,
whereas
kind of thing.
like now, obviously with Elliot Page's transition, I think because that character is like the pinnacle of that show, I think a lot of people were wondering how they're going to handle that in the show. So it's quite cool to see a wee hint of that in the trailer, and I'm quite looking
Do
forward
you
to
think
seeing how they do that in
that
the
would be
show.
connected to the Sparrows? So like
I
Vanya would
wonder.
be the same team, and then Elliot would be the new one in the Sparrows, or
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They could do like, I mean, they've done. There's I know that Ben died in the main universe, and now we've got Evil Ben. But there's two Bens, so there is some duplicate characters, and there's two Pogos because Pogo died in the first series, the monkey, and then we see him.
Oh, I know, yeah.
We see him in this, but he's in this trailer, so obviously there's another Pogo as well. So, yeah, interesting. But anyway, I'll see this.
I mean, do you follow anybody else that's in the like? I don't really know, like what anything else except like the Robert Sheehan. He's in like the Misfits, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's in Misfits.
But I don't really know anyone else.
Tom Hopper, him that plays Luthor, he's good. I mean, the most recent thing he was in was that awful Resident Evil film, but it wasn't his fault. he did his best. That was just a bad movie.
I was Chris. He wasn't Chris Redfield, was he?
No, he was Wesker. He was a villain.
Oh fuck! Of course, Jesus.
Yeah, let's not talk about that because that was atrocious. But
was it no you? It was saying that was announced that I'll get a good shot because they're going in a different direction. Was that no you? No.
Wait, that was probably me talking about the new Resident Evil show that they're doing, which is set in the future. Is it that one I was talking about?
Oh no, this was ages ago. This was probably about a year ago.
Then. I was excited for Raccoon City. I was, because the trailers looked cool and it looked like it was recreating the game, and then the movie was awful.
I don't think they showed in any of the trailers. I don't think they really showed much of the characters. They just showed the environment, really. Maybe. Yeah. So it's because like that's probably why you got hyped.
That was the best part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like.
Right, let's stop talking about this, man. I'll have a great day. Piece of shit movie. I hope Netflix goes under for releasing that. Wait, was that them? No, that wasn't even them.
No, it wasn't them.
The new was Netflix. The future was Netflix.
The future.
Well, then whoever released that last one, I hope they fail.
They fail.
Right.
Fucking hell. Let's go. What's the next one? The Godzilla. Do I do that one?
Let's talk Godzilla. Chris,
WandaVision.
So, what did you think of Godzilla vs. Kong?
I thought it was a good film in the sense of what it was. You have to take it for what it is. I mean, it's two things attacking each other. I don't think it needed to be a connection at all. It felt like an arcade game you were playing. There was no story to it whatsoever. You're just there for the fun of these two giant things fighting and then helping to kill the big metal one. You know,
I thought it was shit.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
But I wasn't going in expecting that much. I just wanted a big dumb film with monsters hitting each other, and that only happens like twice in the whole movie. And then it's just a predictable team up versus movie like Batman v Superman. Like, they punch for a bit and then they team up and then they fight something else. The end. It was shite.
What do you think?
The Hollow Earth thing when Kong was cutting about inside the Earth and there was all the colours and all that. What am I watching?
What the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think like the whole monster universe is kind of gone? Like, I know like Godzilla when it was released in 2012 or something, like that was 14. Really 14. That was good, but like it didn't revive me to say, why watch all these monster movies? It's no like
I kind of was like that. I saw that first Godzilla film and it was fine. I liked the bit Godzilla was in it. It wasn't in it enough, but it was fine. And I was quite looking forward to like whatever was next, and then they did Kong Skull Island, which I really enjoyed. Skull Island, I thought it was a great film. It was dumb and it was kind of like schlocky Vietnam 70s movie, but it was great.
Sam Jackson was in it, so like, that's
so that was, and I was quite hyped at that point. And then they did that second Godzilla movie, King of the Monsters, which was just the most boring film I've ever seen. Like, how do you make a monster film boring?
Like,
so much that film was just like them in rooms talking about like the science behind it. Like, this is Mothra. They have big wings, and there's this there's this many cells in each wing, and these kind of cells repel water. And I don't care. Like, showing them fighting. Do you know what I mean? Telling us stuff for your nerds. Go away.
I know.
There was far too much of that in that second movie, and it was just
there was far too much describing of it, and no much. And like really, the last section of it when they all die, and then Godzilla's just there.
There was some cool shots in that second movie, like just the cinematography, like it was just CGI shots, but they looked good. There was some good visual camera work in that movie. Everything else was boring and pointless. And then Kong versus Godzilla was awful. But they're doing more for some reason. They're doing a TV show. They're
But
doing a TV
it's
show.
not. It's a TV show, so it's
So
not.
this TV show is going to be mostly based on Godzilla. I don't know if Kong's going to be in it, but it's going to be helmed by Matt Shackman, who
Not
did
Shackman. Who
he
done
did
one?
WandaVision, and he also did a lot of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like, see the episode, the meme you always see where Charlie's got the board behind him and he's like pointing and he's like
Point
smoking
stuff.
fag, and that Matt Shackman did that as well. So he's done a lot of stuff. He's talented. I really like WandaVision. So
Is he
I'm
a new director? Because I couldn't really find much on him. Like, I know it. Like he's done
that
like Game of Thrones
yeah,
episodes and stuff like that.
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
He's worked in. I don't know if he's ever done a film. I feel like I should know that, but he's just a solid TV director. Like I'm saying, like Always Sunny, Game of Thrones,
I was.
WandaVision.
A lot of it
Like,
isn't a TV, so it's
aye,
like.
I knew this is a TV show, so he's just a solid TV director. But just as if that's like easy to do.
But one problem is it not
What
coming out on Apple.
it is, it's an Apple TV
So
show.
that's a pish.
That's a bit of a dick.
That's a bad thing.
I've yet to see a good Apple show, but
maybe the good old fucking Matt will pull it off, and like we'll get through. But
do you know what I'll probably do? I'll probably wait till it comes out, and then if people are saying on Facebook and Reddit that it's good, I'll watch it, and if not, then I won't. That's probably how I'm going to come at this.
Because it's like, well, what do you think it will be? I'm guessing it must be like a more human element to the story. I mean, the human elements are awful.
I hope not.
Films.
Exactly.
Like,
I hope not. I hate that. Like, what, you don't
It's
go
the
and see a
worst
monster
part.
film for the
It's the
humans.
worst part. Yeah.
Like, no, I want to just see the whole thing from Godzilla's perspective, and the people just
just looking down.
He's just killing them all. Yeah, that's all they're good for in these movies.
I guess so.
Another kind of tangentially related thing is that they're doing a sequel to Godzilla v Kong.
Oh, fuck off! No.
Yeah, I'm afraid
Really?
so. So they're doing a sequel to Godzilla v Kong, and Dan Stevens is going to be in it. So Dan Stevens originally worked with Adam Wingard, who is directing these movies. He originally worked with him on The Guest, which is actually a decent kind of schlocky horror comedy type film. Your Next was pretty good as well. Your Next was the one with the pigs that murder people. That was pretty decent. And then he made the Blair Witch remake, which I've not watched because it's a horror remake. And he also made that Death Note movie on Netflix with Willem Dafoe, which was apparently garbage. I heard that was shite. But again, I heard it was based on an anime, so I wasn't going to watch it regardless. But I heard it was pretty bad.
I mean, I watched it. I thought it was all right. I mean, I'm guessing if it's based on anime, it's going to have so much like a reputation, and people will be like what we do with comics. There'll be like people behind it, like more. Yeah, so I thought it was all right. Like Willem Dafoe, I'll watch anything he's in, like regardless if it's shite or good.
Aye. I wonder why he seems to be moving away from horror. Like, see if you look at his filmography, everything gets less and less horror. Like, it's Your Next, which was a proper horror slasher film, and then The Guest was a bit more kind of comedy. Like, it was still a kind of horror, and then Blair Witch was also a remake, and then Death Note is an anime with, I guess, light horror elements, and then Godzilla movies, like, isn't horror at all. It just seems like he's moving away from that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't care. I'm really not hyped. I will. There's more chance of me watching this Godzilla TV show than there is me seeing the sequel to Godzilla v Kong, because the first one was so bad. But again, if the reviews come out and they're like, "Oh, it's amazing," then I might see it.
Is it Adam Wingard? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, Adam Wingard is directing. He directed the last one and this one.
Did he write any of it? The Godzilla v Kong.
I've closed his tab now. I'll need to open it again. I don't know.
I don't think he is. I think he's just a director. But it's. I'm getting sick of the whole CGI films now, man. I don't want a big fucking monster fighting another big monster.
No, he didn't write it. Just directed it.
Because it's like, how many big threats have you got? You know, like I kind of like the monster films that I would concentrate on. I don't even know if they're in the same category, but the ones like Dracula, the werewolf, and all that stuff. They're all fun movies. Big Goliath creatures that you can't really connect to is quite hard to
Thingy
make.
keeps saying, would you call him Mr. Sunday Movies? He keeps saying that they should have one shot. Like, you can have your big CGI fight, and then it's like got all the big CGI water and like whatever lightning and stuff. But then just have one shot in the middle where it's just two guys in suits just punching each other. Like, just cut to that for like 2 seconds, and then just go back to the CGI and just see if anyone notices. I was like, that's a great idea. They should do that. Like, imagine just a split second shot of just two guys in rubber suits just punching each other.
That would be the highlight of the movie.
Yeah, right. They should totally do that.
James Cameron with like a boom tube together, like walking up and doing it. Oh, fuck hell. But oh well, good on him, man. I mean, if it makes money, I'm guessing the reason they're making a second con, it must have made.
Yeah, if there's a TV show and a sequel, then it must make money, I guess.
I mean, like it went for the budget was 200 and it only got 450. I mean, 450 million is not bad, but you would expect it to go higher than that.
I think the kind of blanket rule, like if you said the original budget was 200, I think as long as it makes more than half, as long as it makes more than double, then we'll do a sequel. I think that's usually what they do. Like, yeah, it's usually how they think it.
Oh well, fuck.
Yeah, so let's move on for Godzilla because I don't care. Death Stranding, something I guess I do care about more.
I've never played this. Like, I heard so much like good and then negative shit about it. Like, it took so long, but like, give us your thoughts on it. Is a second coming?
So Death Stranding is a weird game. Like, it was one of the games. Obviously, it's Kojima's first original thing after Metal Gear, right? Mm-hmm. So you're like, I saw an idea that he's had for years because he also couldn't work on all stuff when he was doing Metal Gear and whatever. And this would be cool. And then you see the trailers and you were like, it just looks like you're a postman just cutting about in the future, just moving stuff from A to B. And then
Kevin Costner, the postman film.
and then you're like, there must be more to it than that. Like, when I play it, there'll be more to it. And then you play it and you're like, oh no, I'm just a postman moving stuff from A to B. Like, that is the whole game, to be honest. There's more like elements to it, but it is just very much go and get this thing, pick it up, and then take it here. And there's like monsters on your way, and there's like certain other things you need to do on the way, but that's it. It's basically just moving stuff A to B.
I think because I did notice like in the trailers and stuff, they did have like big name actors. So they had Norman Reedus.
Yeah, the cast amazing, like
Mads Mikkelsen. So it's like
Mads Mikkelsen and Lea Seydoux, and
is that what drew people in, or do you think it was?
I think it was more just people wanted to work with Kojima. I think that's why they were all involved because they just wanted to work with him. But that's the thing, though. I'm saying like, it's just like delivering like stuff and it's kind of busy work. But do you know something? I enjoyed it. Like, I don't know what it was, but there was something really like cathartic and kind of zen about just running across a big environment, just delivering something. Like, it was so basic, and like so many games nowadays, they've got this pure busy HUD. You've got like your ammo on the top left, your health on the top right, your compass. You've got like your power meter at the bottom. Like, you've got so much kind of going on the screen, and you're like, right, I need to get to this objective and then kill this guy and then get out. And this timer's going down. I need to get out before the timer goes out. And like, there's kind of so much to kind of multitask when you're playing a game sometimes. That see when you get a game like Death Stranding where it's just go and get this parcel and just take it to this other place. It's just super simple, and it's kind of satisfying just to do that.
See, I didn't realize that from Death Stranding that actually he's been brought in. Kojima has been brought in to make a new Metal Gear Solid.
That's not confirmed though.
But like that could be happening.
Yeah, so there's been, to be honest with you, there's been rumors for years about a Metal Gear sequel, but recently Konami have seemingly
shut it down.
No, they're lending out some of their IP. It's been all but confirmed that Bloober Team, who made like the Medium and stuff, and a couple of VR horror games, they are doing a Silent Hill game. Chances are it's a remake of Silent Hill 2, although that's not confirmed. But that's a common kind of consensus. So they're going to do a Silent Hill 2 sequel, but in partnership with Konami. So basically, they're letting them use the name and the characters and all that, and then they'll kind of split the profits. So because of that, even though that's not been 100% confirmed, it's pretty much confirmed. Because because of that, people are then saying, "Oh well, they're going to do it with Metal Gear." Like if they've done it with Silent Hill, then also Metal Gear's next. That's why that's been so heavily rumored just now. But it's been rumored for years, just because people want it. I think.
Do you think that's even possible? Do you think he would ever go back? Like, because if he goes back, he'll be like, "Oh, I'm under this constraint now again." Like, fuck it.
Kojima is never going to work with Konami again, like firsthand. Like he's never going to go. If Konami say like, "Well, we want to make another Metal Gear, we'll bring you back," he would tell them to get to, because he's got his own studio now. Like, why would he? That's not going to happen. But if Konami say to his studio, "Here, you can have these characters and this name and whatever, this IP, this trademarks, and we'll split the money," then I could see a team developing it and him maybe just being a kind of overseer, like an advisor. I don't know if he would fully commit to like write and direct it again. I just think he's moved on like creatively for that point.
I mean,
but I can see him being like see the way that like George Lucas was an advisor on Force Awakens, that kind of thing. Like it's not his movie, but they go to him and be like, "What do you think? Does this work?" And then kind of use him in that capacity.
I mean, the way I heard it was, it was a complete refresh of it. Like you're creating a new kind of story, but you're using Metal Gear Solid. You still have Snake and all that, but I don't know. It's not connected to the other things.
What I can see being more likely than a new Metal Gear game with Kojima involved, I can see them just getting somebody like Bluepoint who make remasters or remakes, just get them to make Metal Gear Solid again. Like, see if Konami are just selling the IP or like lending the IP or whatever. I can see like Sony, like PlayStation Entertainment, just buying the rights to that and then just giving it to what they called Bluepoint, because they're a first party studio now, and just saying remake the first Metal Gear and we'll just sell it and make money. I can see that being the more likely thing.
Well, that actually leads on to the next topic about EA has reportedly been pursuing acquisition and merger options with bloody Amazon and Apple and Disney and NBC Universal. So you never know. EA might fucking get the fucking rights to it.
Oh God!
No, I didn't even mean to say that. Like, imagine an EA Metal Gear Solid. Oh, the micro transactions would be pay £5 to do stealth.
Pay £10 for your bandana.
Fucking the red bandana. You just get a grey one, and you want a red one.
Yeah. So that'll be $12, please.
But like it's EA. I thought EA was quite big. I didn't think it would be even considered to get bought. But the fact that they're
EA are huge, right? And that's why I don't see, even though they're kind of like putting themselves up for sale, basically saying like, we want somebody to buy.
We want somebody.
I don't see Sony or even Microsoft doing it. I don't think Sony could afford the asking price, and even though Microsoft could, I just don't see them doing it. I don't know if they see it as worth it.
I see like IP related instance. I don't think they would want it. Like, I think Disney would be the ones that would pre-thinking, right, let's go for it. Right, like, if we have control of Star Wars, EA's got all the contracts. Let's just fucking go with it. You know?
I'm trying to think. What are EA's biggest franchises? Like, you've got
it's like football and all the
sports stuff, and then you've got like Mirror's Edge and Battlefield,
the Last Jedi, the Fallen Order thing.
And Battlefront, I guess, is technically them. Dragon Age, that's EA, isn't it?
They've also got a lot of good battle arenas, like the
Dragon Age is
the Apex Legends and Mass Effect. You know, they've got good story games.
Mass Effect, that was published by EA, but it was developed by BioWare.
BioWare, yeah.
But I don't know. Sims, that's another big one again. Sims is huge. But I don't care if it's EA.
Yeah, like
I
it's
literally
shit,
and I'm like, I don't care. Like something, and especially something like NBC Universal, it's like they're like a television corporation. Like, see if they buy EA, I don't care. Like, I think if Disney or Apple were to buy them, that might be a big deal, because we were talking. I think you actually asked me a couple of weeks ago, can we see Disney getting involved with games in like a big way, because it's becoming such a huge like piece of the market. And I said at the time, I think Disney will wait and see how, like, Xbox have just bought Activision, so like
Yeah.
Disney will see how that goes, and if that goes well for Xbox, then they'll get involved. So maybe this could be the start of that. Maybe they've seen something. Maybe they know something that we don't know about the acquisitions that are going on, and maybe Disney are like, "I will buy EA and we'll get involved." It could be
Because
a
it could be the same thing they done with Disney Plus. They could be like, okay, streaming is good. Let's, instead of getting all
here.
these elements.
I just had a thought.
Oh no.
So,
It does look a good thought. It looks a horrible
so do,
apocalyptic thought.
do you remember a couple of weeks ago we were celebrating how Amy Hennig was getting to make her Star Wars game after Star Wars 1313?
The Uncharted last
C-
night.
can you imagine if Disney buy EA and then they make all the Star Wars games exclusive to EA again, the way that they did when Disney bought Star Wars? Remember that happened, and that's why Amy Hennig's
That's
Star Wars game got cancelled the first time. Can you imagine it happened again
the
because they bought and
ironicness.
they were like, "Oh
Oh
no,
no.
any Star Wars games being made by non-EA studios are cancelled." Like, oh no,
Oh
that
no,
can't
no,
happen.
no. Oh no. I hope no. Oh,
What a
that would
depressing
be such
thought.
a kick in the balls to that fucking lassie.
That game's just no meant to happen.
Fucking hell. No, man. I'd say, to be honest, see if they do that, if they do that, if I think EA might be just like a sports thing, and they'll take all the contracts and like just leave EA to do all the sports stuff,
It's
and they'll make a new company for Star Wars. They'll give it to LucasArts, hopefully, if they give that back and it resurges itself.
yeah.
Like,
Did you see? Did you see the football games aren't going to be called FIFA anymore?
oh fucking hell, what are they gonna be
They're
called?
just EA Football.
Oh
Or,
no!
yeah.
No! Oh my god, EA, you're such an ego bastard company. Fucking
Well,
hell.
to be fair, I think the reason that they're doing it is because FIFA is so corrupt, and there's
There's like
all sorts of
there's quite
lawsuits being taken out against
bad
FIFA and stuff.
bad
So I think
connections.
that's why they're ditching it. But yeah,
Oh man, that's awful.
it's just going to be called
EA.
EA Football or something. Aye.
Oh, that's not got the right. That's not got the right ring to it.
Nah,
That's the.
it sounds super weird. Yeah.
I mean, see, boss, people will buy it. Like, I don't know. I used to be the kind of guy that did do that. Let's say, like, I bought like 2013 to 2015, and then I realised I'm paying 40 quid a year for the same game. So, no, bye
I
bye.
was the same. I used to buy it every year, and then see this year, obviously, FIFA 2022 is a PS Plus game, so it's basically free. I downloaded that like I think it was this start of this month, and I've not even played it yet. Like that's how much I don't care about FIFA now. Like I got the new one for free, and I was like, oh okay, I downloaded it, but I've not played it.
It's like I don't know if it's like it's exciting when you're playing when you've got like when you're playing your mates and stuff like that. But see after
Mhm.
that,
I know,
who gives a shit? Like it's not got any story.
I know.
I'm not a
There's no reason
football
to stick with it.
person. Like I'm not like a football person that like
I think I
is
am, but I would rather
insane.
just watch it.
Exactly. You'd rather watch it and know what and get like the real results. I'm
It's
no.
playing it's okay if you're like you've got pals up, but see, unless you've like the rare time that you're either at a mate's house or you've got mates up, like sitting yourself, I would play like 100 other games before I put on FIFA if
Oh
I'm
yeah,
just sitting myself.
definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
There's so many better.
aye,
Like that's one I was actually having this wee internal dialogue with myself. I was like, who in their right mind would play online games to get story out of them rather than story games? Like
yeah,
like you would definitely go for a story. Like FIFA in my mind is an online game. Like you would just it's just really you're playing against somebody online. There's no really any story to it, and it's a competition to who's the better controller. You know.
we were
Like,
talking about it on Keen Gamer podcast a couple of weeks ago. Actually, we were talking
mhm.
about I think it was a new Arkham. Was it Arkham Knights or whatever it's called?
Arkham
No,
Knights,
well, Gotham Knights in it.
Gotham
Gotham
Knights.
Knights because they're saying that's going to have like online co-op, and I was like, it's a story game though. Like, see if I'm playing a story game, I don't want my mate to be being like, talking to his bird in the background and being like, "What we having for dinner all night?" And
Aye.
oh, I need to let a dog out and like all that part. Like
Aye.
I want
Aye.
to just focus on the
I'll wait
game.
for
Like
10 minutes and you can't go to the next
aye,
mission. You're
like
like, what the fuck?
or especially like they're saying like 4-player co-op. So see if you've got 4 people in there and you're all talking shite and having banter, which don't get me wrong,
It's good.
is good
Yeah.
fun. It's
Yeah.
just not good for a story game. Do you know what I mean? You
Nah.
want to experience a story. I would rather just play it my own and just take it in, and then you can go
Aye.
and do online and have a laugh. Like
Aye, because that's one thing that always puts me back to Resident Evil 5. Like, see, that was obviously it was a small game, it was very condensed missions. But see, when you had somebody else and it wasn't
aye,
your pal, and he would
aye.
just go in a random direction, and you wanted to get to the end door, and you had to both click a button, and he's fucking at the other end, and you're like, "I want to move on, let me move on."
I
And
never
the guy,
experienced that, but that's really funny.
you've not done that. He's just like kind of walking about, like just fucking. Like, and I can imagine if it's like Gotham Knights, there will be like wee Easter eggs and stuff like that, so people will just fuck off. You know? And
They're
no
all
want to
part
go
of the
down to the
city or something.
sewers. Aye,
Aye.
you want to go to the sewers to see the fucking owls, and they're like, "No, let's go and do the Riddlers." Or something, you know? What I mean? You know? Oh, it's going to be. I don't think that would work.
No.
It's no. I don't think a Batman game. Like if it was a Justice League game, aye, they'll co-op because you've got all these cool characters, but
Mm-hmm.
oh, I don't think see
Well,
this goes back to GTA. I always think like, do you think the GTA handled that well with the 3 different stories, or do you think it's going to be like that with Gotham Knights? It's going to be 3 different stories, or it's just one story and you basically change skin, kind of thing.
I think it'll be more condensed than GTA. I think it'll be more streamlined. I think it'll be
Mm,
there'll be a single villain, which is probably going to be Court Royals, right? We can't know that.
yeah,
And then they're probably going to have like certain twists. One of the twists I think is going to be that Batman's still alive.
of course,
Um,
yeah. You
and
can't kill their
then
main cash cow. Like,
you'll just play like certain parts of the game as different characters. The way that in like Arkham City you play as Catwoman for something,
aye,
like it'll
aye.
just be that same shit. But yeah,
No.
fine. It'll be good. I
It's-
hope
As long as
that's
it's not got EA connection, I'm happy with it. Well,
no,
is
well,
it actually? Is it? Is
no,
it not?
it's Warner Bros. But
Oh,
they
thank
aren't
God. Oh,
that much better.
oh.
We'll see. We'll see.
I had like an epiphany there that they were connected somehow to EA. I don't know why. I was like, oh, fuck no. But
Right, talking about like games that you've not played yet. What have you been like watching and playing and reading this week?
what have I been watching and playing? I have actually started watching the new Love and Robots thing. I feel
Love, Death, and Robots.
Love, Death and Robots. That's
How
I always
how
love
is it?
those. I'm only halfway through, but it's just a nice wee tip. I've watched Tim Miller's one,
Right.
and Tim Miller does one like an episode each season, and
Yeah.
it's definitely the best I've seen so far. Like
So
it's
David Fincher directed an episode, didn't he?
I think that was the same one with Tim. I think he might have been like a producer,
Right.
because I definitely saw the David Fincher thing. I
There's
was like, what the?
there's one. I think the one that David Fincher directed is the one on the boat with the big octopus.
That was really good. Aye, the bad
That
sailors.
I
Or
think that
something
was
like that.
David Fincher's episode.
That was really good. Like it's like there's something just interesting about like the whole. I won't spoil it, but the whole story. It's like just a wee 20-minute or 15-minute story, and you feel like it's like a longer. Like you're like, what the
Aye.
fuck? And it's got a wee kind of interesting twist towards the end of it, which is really good with the David Fincher one. But
I've not watched Love, Death, and Robots since the first season. I really enjoyed the first season, and
no,
then
it's the
season
second
two
season.
season 2 came out, and I was like, I need to get around to that, and then I just never did. And then I felt like season 3 came out of nowhere. It was like, oh, there's a third season now, and I was like, oh, I've never even watched the second one, so I need to
It's like
binge them all.
a pleasant
Basically,
discovery. I thought it was a nice wee kind of like, oh, right, okay, I'll get that's something to watch now. Like I'm definitely
yeah,
going to watch that. Like it's not anything like crazy, and it's got like the first one. But I loved like the 3 robots, and they're like walking around in the apocalypse,
yeah,
and they're like on the first season, at the end of it, they got stuck by cats, and they had
right,
opposable thumbs, and they were like
yeah, yeah,
the owners of the universe, and they
right.
kind of carry that on into this third episode, which is really cool. But like, see, for my instincts, just for the visual imagery of all this stuff is just amazing. Like, it's nice to show
the animation's incredible.
All these wee independent studios and like getting a platform to just kind of say,
And
"Hey,
I love the fact
this."
it's all different types of animation. Like
It's
there's loads
not
of
the
variety.
same. It's not the same kind of. It's like because I when I was younger, I used to be sky away for that. I was like, oh, I don't like that kind of element. I don't like the Asian influence. I don't like the Brazilian elements of it and stuff like that. It's too colourful. I like the black and white stuff, the Sin City stuff, and then I realised, fucking hell, like you're really limiting yourself, to story and just the visual elements of it. So definitely, I would recommend to watch season 2 and season 3.
Yeah,
It's just a good wee. I mean, I would say, see, it's like a movie. See, if you take 2 hours out of your day, you could watch one
a full
season,
season. Aye,
and it's fine.
So season 2, I remember when that came out, it was much shorter than the first season. Is season 3 quite short as well?
I think it's probably the same.
Yeah,
and
because
maybe an episode bigger, but episode 1 was big.
I thought that was a good thing about me having not seen the second season, was that if I watch season 2 and 3 all together, then that's probably about the same as season 1, episodes wise. Do you know what I mean? It'll work out about the same. So
it'll work out, but also I don't think anything actually connects, which is also interesting.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, fucking hell, these are all maybe about 40 individual stories. If you take it all together, you're like,
and that's the thing about what I've seen in the first season. A lot of them, it's not just that they're all just like throwaway, pointless stories. There's quite a lot of them that I would want to see more of. That I would be like, see if they made this story and a whole show, I'd probably watch it. Like,
exactly.
there's at least a few of them in every season, I think.
I think that's what's really good about this, though. I don't know how much money the actual host this thing gets, because animation, though, you know it yourself, isn't a cheap fucking labor. Like, it's very, very expensive. So I don't know how Netflix do this. I don't know much. Going back to the original point, when we were saying Netflix gives away cash, I don't know
I
what
think
the budget is. This
part of their downsizing recently was they cancelled a bunch of animated shows that weren't even out yet. I wonder if basically they've had a meeting where they're like, right, Love, Death and Robots is our big animated show, so we'll keep that one, and everything else can just
go.
stop. Because I think BoJack Horseman's finished. That was their other big animated show, but I think that's finished.
Was Castlevania though one of their big ones? And they
but that's been cancelled. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but I will see Love, Death and Robots.
One other thing I've been listening to is I've said that a couple of weeks ago. I was listening to the Sandman, the Neil Gaiman audiobook. I'm now fucking 7 hours in, and oh my god, it's I'm going to buy the copy. I'm going to buy the whole fucking series. It's so good.
Is
it? I didn't realize it connects to the DC. I thought it was published by DC, but like not really. It's its own entity. It has Constantine in it. It has Swamp Thing.
In it too.
It has all these elements, and you're like, fucking hell, this is so good. And it's a short story. Like I looked him up, but he's not got a lot on additions. It's really condensed. So it's and Batman was mentioned, Arkham Asylum. So I was in my element. I was like, this is fantastic.
That's cool.
So I don't know if you listened to it or what you read the first edition. I remember.
I've read the first Sandman issue or the first volume on. I don't know if I don't think I own it. I think I read it digitally. I think I got it on my phone. And it was one of these series where I was like, I need to. Like you're saying, I need to buy all these and read through them. The way I did with like preaching and stuff, I was like, I need to buy them all and read them.
Exactly.
And I've just not got into it. I've just no
like, it's like you need to pick and choose now. Like I've noticed that like, I'm just getting swamped with stuff, and things are going in a backlog of things that I can't. It's either too much, like too thick, or just too long, and I'm like, I can't listen to this. But audiobooks, give it a shot. This is my first time using one, so it could be helpful. I use it when I'm walking them back to work. Instead of listening to music, I listen to that. So it's a good wee break. But what about yourself?
So there's been a bunch of stuff actually. First thing, I went to see. Do you know who Simon Amstell is? He's a British comedian.
The comedian. How did that go?
Yeah, brilliant, really funny. We went
How
to see
is he?
him on.
Is he improved since the Buzzcocks, or is he still the same?
He's still a cheeky dick.
That's brilliant. I love
He's
that.
still
That's
a
great.
pure. Like there was one point he was talking about like having a mental breakdown because he's getting older. He's like 42 now, and he was like how he moved to New York. He moved to New York and shaved his head, and he was like, "I'm fine." To his
No.
pals, now he was like, "I'm fine, it's all right." And then there was this lassie in the front row, kind of heavy lassie with a piercing and stuff, and she had a shaved head, and
Oh God.
he kept looking at her. And he was like, "We'll find out your story in a minute." He said to her, like, while he was telling his, and then he was like, "I look like an absolute fool." And then he turned around to her and went, "Not you. You look cool." And he went, "Well, I'm just saying that it's kind of dark in here. You could look like shit." And I went, "No," but he said it. We were like, "Oh."
He's 42 and loose.
Like,
He's
it just how we shit like that, man. So it was funny. But
Oh,
yeah. Other than that,
I like him.
I've been re-listening to this. This is the latest Red Hot Chili Peppers
Oh,
album.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
It, it came out at the start of April, and I took the ones through, and I was quite hyped for it, and I never really. I like some of it, and I never really got into some of it. Re-listened to it. It is actually a solid record, so I've been listening to that a lot. And I've also been reading this.
The Bible.
I looked this out recently.
Punisher, yes.
It's the compendium of all the Garth Ennis stuff, but that's not Punisher Max. Punisher Max is up there on my shelf. This is the Marvel Knights stuff. So this is the stuff that's. It was kind of weird. So like at the time, Marvel were looking for a new writer for Punisher, and Garth Ennis obviously wanted to work on it, but they told him like you can go quite far with it, but you can't like decapitate people. You can't have like him just saying the F word. Like it's still a Marvel comic. So it's no quite like Punisher Max in that way. But what they decided to do with it instead, some of it's really comedic, some of it's like quite funny.
Really? Oh,
yeah,
right, okay.
yeah, like but in a sick way. So like
just up your alley.
one of the exactly one of the crime families, right, is the I should have Punisher fan, you'll know this, but it's the Nucci family. So they're like one of the gangsters, right? And he basically kills all the men in the family, so the mother of the family has to like take over, and her name's Ma Nucci, right? And he ends up blowing her up so that her arms and legs get blown up.
Oof.
And then she ends up in hospital, and that's
That's like a family-friendly book. What the fuck?
And then at the end, he kicks her armless, legless corpse into a fire at the end.
Well, I'm guessing she wasn't a good human being.
No, she's a scumbag. She's like a mafia person, and she's horrible. Like she like organizes prostitutes, and she's a bad person.
She's a pimp, yeah.
But I mean, it's still an old woman with arms and legs that Punisher's kicking into the fire. You know, so it's still quite.
I'm guessing he must lift her up, does he? Like, how does he get her out of the hospital?
I'm trying to find the page. So I think she ends up back in the compound because you see her at a certain point. She like gets a wig and puts on makeup and stuff and tries to look more normal again. And she's like kind of cut a bit of wheelchair and stuff, and then I can't find it now. But he breaks in. Basically,
she looks a bit fucking scary. Like she's got a black hair wig.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, so that's
a bit scary.
After she's like kind of that's her. Yeah, so she jumps towards them, and she's like, "I'm gonna get you, Punisher," and then this is him just kicking her back into the So
I love the desperate attempt to grab onto him with your teeth.
That's the sort of book this is. But it's great. It's great if you're a fan of that sort of style of storytelling. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and it is a bit depraved, but it's hugely entertaining. There's also a volume where he fights Wolverine, and
how's he going?
He runs him over with a steamroller. So there's Wolverine. He blows his face off with a shotgun, and then Wolverine's trying to crawl away, and then he runs him over with a steamroller. So that happens too.
Is he dead then in that audition?
No, he's Wolverine. Comes back.
He's going to. His adamantium will be surviving.
But it's a great book. It's kind of what's interesting about it. It's also this is a kind of prelude to Punisher Max. So you see a lot of the ideas that he obviously got and probably couldn't do in this comic because it was still a Marvel comic that he then done in Punisher Max, which was a Max comic, obviously, and was way more like adult stuff. But yeah, it's been good.
How long was that? How long was that a read? Was that like a skim read, or were you like
this?
that would be a good.
There is. I'm trying to read the amount of volumes.
About 20, more than that.
Collecting Punisher 1 to 12, and then Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe, a one shot, and then another 37 issues.
37? Wow.
Aye. So there must put plus 12, so that's like 50. So there's at least 50 issues of that. Yeah, it's good. Other than that, I have been playing Sniper Elite 5.
Is that not an old game?
No, Sniper Elite 5 isn't out yet. It comes out Thursday next week. So by the time you guys hear this, it'll be like this Thursday. So this is my first review for Keen Gamer. Since I started writing for them. And
I love the Sniper. Did you get a writer's copy, a reviewer's copy?
Yeah, I got a review copy. Yeah.
Fuck, that's brilliant.
So I've always really enjoyed the Sniper Elite games. Sniper Elite 4 was, I think the reason they asked me to do it, Sniper Elite 4 was one of my like interview essays that I sent, like when I was sending like some articles. One of them was the Sniper Elite 4 one, so I think that's why they said, do you want to do the fifth one since it's coming out? So yeah, the game's out on Thursday. I have not finished the game yet, and also I've not written my review yet, but they will both be out by the time the game comes out. I'm hoping to get the game played and my review written and hopefully up the day before, because I think the embargo lifts on Wednesday and then the game's out on Thursday. So one of those days my review will be out. And spoilers, I'm enjoying it so far. I don't want to give away too much, but it's just, there's just something about those games. I just see shooting Nazis in the brain.
I was going to say, has it still got the Nazi element of it?
Oh mate, they've again, I'll talk about this more in my review, but they've upped the kill cam. Like you can
slow mo.
See, before it would go into slow mo and you would just see the bullet going through, right? See now it goes out of slow mo. You can move the camera around so you can get different angles. And see if you press up and down, you can like slow down the slow mo, so you can have it like standard, or you can slow it down even more. So you see the bullet like really slow, and then you can spin around and see the impact, and then you see the eyeball pop, and you see the back of the head explode. And yeah, it's great. It's extremely satisfying.
That's brilliant. That's amazing that you got a review copy. That's brilliant. I'm proud of you.
It's good fun getting to play a game before anybody else. It's quite nice.
So is that Jay, that's going to be could that be a consistent thing? You're getting all these review copies?
Well, I don't know how much I want to say now, but I've applied I've applied for another game that's coming out next month. Oh, you know what, I'll just say it. I might get it, I might not. Don't even really matters. See how the guys that made Until Dawn.
Yeah.
And then they made that Man of Medan. Well, they're making a new game, The Quarry, which is more like Until Dawn. It's not like as episodic as Man of Medan. It's more like a big kind of game where it's now Until Dawn was kind of like a TV show, almost like you were watching a TV show and you made different decisions. I think that's what The Quarry is going to be. So I've applied to review that, but I've not heard back for that one yet. I think they want to see if I'm actually going to get this one out in time first before they give me that one. But that could be the next one that I get, but we'll see.
That's amazing. I'm proud. I'm so happy for you. That's so good.
Oh, cheers, mate.
Do you get more dosh? Oh no.
No.
A game.
I'm getting paid in games.
That's good.
Listen, if here talk about dosh, it works per click. So see if you're listening to this podcast or watching this podcast, I'll link something in even if it's not that review, there'll be something in the description, and if you click that, then that helps. So with all that out the road, will we move on to discussion topic?
Yes, let's do it.
So, discussion topic this week is actually somewhat unclear. It's
speculation.
It is. So it's about Daredevil season 4. Well, we think it's season 4. We don't even know if it's season 4. It's about the new Daredevil series on Disney Plus. So That's about all we know for certain. There's a Disney Plus
It's
Daredevil show
coming
coming,
through. Yep.
but we don't even know if it's going to be a reboot, if it's going to be a continuation. We know that it's going to still star Charlie
Charlie
Cox
Cox. Yep.
and probably Vincent D'Onofrio, but we don't know if we're going to get Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. We don't know about any of that yet. And we don't even know if it's going to be the same Karen Page and Foggy Nelson. I assume it is,
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, is
but we
it?
don't know.
Do you think they've just because like that's? I think they would just want to They would want to restart it in their own way, like, but keep keep Charlie Cox because everybody loves that, and then just scrap it all. Because then they've got Spider
Yeah.
Man they can introduce now, you know, into New York City. But the one thing I'm thinking of, I really like the Punisher, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
know that if they're going to. They can't really pick and choose, can they? I mean, it's Disney; they can do what the fuck they want. But like Jank, they would. Jank, they would bring them all over, or Jank, they would have announced that already, or
So I think we saw Kingpin and Hawkeye, and obviously he's not dead, even though we saw the gunshot thing. He's not dead.
he's not dead.
So I definitely think we'll see him back, but whether it'll be what I'm hoping for is we get the brutal version of Kingpin that remember in that season of Daredevil he crushes that guy's head in a door.
Aye, we saw
Like
towards the end, yeah.
that's the version I want. I don't want that version in Hawkeye where he's like I don't know, he's just like this big, like fat and vulnerable guy that just gets knocked about and then can get up for like explosions and stuff. I'm like, nah, give me like brutal Kingpin, like he's a crime lord. He should be bashing people's heads in a door. Like, do you know what I mean? That's the kind of character he is.
Like I can't. I mean, I'm guessing what. Like, because they can't. Disney's not really done anything that's really except Blade. So they're doing Blade now. So, and is Blade not
So
connected to John Cage?
Eternals,
No,
sort of.
Cage. Because Cage is
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage. He's the Blade's the main protagonist, you know.
What?
See the protagonist. See the guy in. Oh, maybe I fucked this up.
The guy in what?
Luke Cage, the show.
Uh-huh.
Is he no Blade?
Mike Coulter. No.
No. Cottonmouth.
Yes, Cottonmouth was played by Mahershala Ali, and he is playing Blade. Yes.
So maybe they might just.
I don't think. Well, that's still a question. It's like, so is that canon? Did Luke Cage happen within this multiverse? I guess. The thing is, there are actors that have played more than one role. Like Jimon Honsu is both the guy at the start of Guardians. That's like when he's like Peter Quill, and he's like who? He is both that guy, and he's also one of the aliens in Captain Marvel. So people have played more than one character before. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't. It's not unheard of. But yeah, I don't know. I hope we get Daredevil, and I just hope that it's still that brutal, mature take that we got in the Netflix series. I don't want to see kid-friendly Daredevil. Do you know what I mean? I want to see because he has a dark character. Like I know that in a TV show he doesn't necessarily kill people, and he doesn't really in a comic either. But
he beats him with a pulp, like almost dead.
And unlike Batman, Batman will beat people at a pulp, but he refuses to kill. Whereas if Daredevil is fighting someone and they happen to get knocked off a building or set on fire, he won't feel bad about it. Like it's not like Batman where he'll like go out his way to save them. Someone he will not actively kill someone, but if someone dies while he's fighting them, then that happens in the comic. So
I think that it's a smart move to play because with Moonlight and Spider-Man and Daredevil, they all live well, in the comics they usually cross over quite a lot, especially Moonlight. I think in Daredevil, I'm not really sure, or maybe Moonlight and Spider-Man mainly.
So there's a Moon Knight comic where his split personality becomes Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Daredevil. They're the voices in his head, but I don't know. I don't know if I see the thing that I want to see the Spider-Man crossover. I want to see Spider-Man fighting Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. I think that would be interesting.
Right,
I want to see they've obviously kind of restarted Spider-Man now at the end of No Way Home. Now that it's kind of street level. So I hope in Spider-Man 4, instead of making them fight aliens and all that, make him fight just a gangster like Kingpin.
And he'll need help from Matt because he'll know.
Yeah, because he knows him. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like introducing Charlie Cox and Spider-Man was a kind of clever way to hint towards something, and I think it was kind of just good confirmation for fans because most people wanted him back as Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
So the fact that was like confirmation that he will be him going forward. Yeah, I just hope they don't Disneyfy it. I hope they don't nerf it and tone it down.
See, there's what I'm going to be the devil's advocate. Like, there was one thing here, like it's the third season. You know, what's going to be offered in the fourth season? Like, I don't know. I was kind of happy when it ended. Like, if I'm right, Vanessa was jailed, and is that right? Is that last season?
I can't remember what happened to Vanessa, but he beats the shit out of Kingpin in his office, and he's like, "You will never beat me."
You will never beat me. But like I can't remember the guy's name. The Target guy.
Bullseye.
Bullseye. He gets like crippled.
Yes. Yeah. Kingpin breaks his back, and then he wakes up in that bed.
So
which was a bit cheesy, but
but a bit cheesy to come back. But like that's going to be that he'll be out for revenge, or else are they going to continue that? Do you think they would continue another company's story, or do you think they would say no, let's do our own, but we'll use the same face?
What I'm worried about, I hope they either like address it and they're like, no, this is a complete reboot, or they say this is a continuation and they do continue that story. But see if they go somewhere, I think they might go somewhere in between, and they might say, right, this is Daredevil. He's already got his relationship with Karen and Foggy established because we've seen all that in Daredevil, but we're not going to do the Bullseye thing, and we're just going to do a different story. Like, see if they just kind of like they pick and choose what bits they want to continue with, and then they leave some stuff. I would rather they either do a complete reboot or just continue it and pick up where they left off. But I'll get a feeling they'll go somewhere in between. They'll do like a soft reboot. Like it'll be it's Charlie Cox, it's a Daredevil you all know, but it's a new story.
Do you know? I just had a wee thought there. Do you know what would be fantastic, right? Imagine Ben Affleck. It was like in the multiverse. Ben Affleck came in and Colin Farrell came back as Bullseye.
Yeah.
They both were like, "Oh, what's going on here?" Like, you know,
they should definitely have done Ben Affleck Daredevil in Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness. Oh,
yeah, that was their chance.
Like it's,
but
like I don't like see the Multiverse of Madness. I was really expecting there would be more like cameos than what we got. Like I was thinking that this was a chance to do this, you know. I mean, a lot
of people are saying that.
I loved the whole Professor X like I thought that was brilliant. I was like, yes, thank you for confirming that.
You predicted that.
Yes, yeah. Like that was such a beautiful moment. Like, but they could have set up so much more, and it's like they could have set up stuff with Charlie Cox. You know, they could have done all this, but yeah, it's. But I don't know what the next phase is now. Like, I don't know. I think we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. Like, what the hell is going on? Like,
so, Thingy spoke about this. Jeremy Jans on YouTube spoke about this, and he was saying there is a clear difference now. Like, he's not saying like the MCU is not as good as it used to be necessarily, but he's saying there is clearly a difference now compared to the early MCU films where they had a goal,
where they had a
structure. Like those. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The first phase of MCU films was building up to the Avengers. That was the goal, was the Avengers movie. And then they got there, and then for that point, it was Thanos, and everything was pointing towards Thanos and setting that up. And seeing now that that's done, it does feel a bit aimless. Like, the writers at Disney probably know what they're building up to, but nobody else does. Like, the cast don't know, the fans don't know. Like, the directors of the individual movies probably don't know. Like Sam Raimi probably doesn't know, even though Kevin Feige does. So it's like it's only certain people that know, and with the rest who's been left in the dark, it does seem a bit like
it's like wait and see. It's like what the fuck.
I was talking to Andy last week, right, and he was like, "Do I need to watch Moon Knight? Like, is it going to be relevant?" And I was like, "Probably not."
Yeah, not really.
So that's kind of how it feels now. It's like you can watch this stuff, but does any really like what's it building up to?
It's like that's one thing I enjoyed Moon Knight. I was like, oh, okay, it's good. Like, it's a character that I like got me into Marvel really because it was like a Batman kind of character. I was like, oh, he's got a cape and he's also Egyptian. I was into Egyptians that time as well. So like, you know, it's like that kind of element. But like there was no, I don't see there was a drastic connection. I mean, you could say with the multiple personalities, you could say, oh, he's in New York, he's in London, and then it goes all that craziness. But I don't see like there's no point in connecting them. But back to what the hell was I talking about? Back to Daredevil. I don't think. I hope they do an original story. And I was like, one thing I was going to say, it could be the suit change that changes
Mhm.
the story. So you could not
Mm.
mention it. It could be like Ben Affleck's suit was the whole leather combination,
Mhm.
and Netflix was more tactical. They could
Mhm.
merge it or completely do something different, and then that you now know it's
Yeah.
Charlie, but it's not in the same universe. You know,
Yeah.
they might use Kingpin instead of him wearing white. You might wear black or something like that, and then you're like, oh right, okay, he's in a different universe, but he's the more aggressive Kingpin, you know. But
Well, that's the thing. Like, I know that in the comics, Kingpin wears like the floral stuff, like the kind of Hawaiian shirts and stuff
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
But see when he was wearing that stuff in Hawkeye, that version of Kingpin from Daredevil would never wear that suit. Would never wear that floral shirt. Do you know what
no,
I mean? Like
no,
the version for Daredevil is very much suit and tie, like proper professional. Like he's not going to cut about with shorts and a floral shirt on. Like I know that he does in the
no,
comic, but that's not this version of Kingpin, and that's why I feel like that version of Kingpin felt a bit. As much as I was excited to see him in Hawkeye, because I really enjoy Vincent D'Onofrio, it didn't feel consistent with what they'd done in Daredevil already
no,
with the character, and I'm worried that this will be the same. This Disney Plus show, I feel like it won't feel, even if it is a follow up, it won't feel like a follow up because it will feel way more,
no.
I don't know, kiddie
See,
and
that's
soft.
that's one thing that like Daredevil was the. I'm not even going to say because I think Daredevil was the superior of all the shows, all the
Yeah,
Marvel
agreed.
shows. But like Marvel, the Daredevil was a kind of initiation to say, right, we're going to get more characters in here, you know.
Mhm.
But now, hopefully, it doesn't go the same way as Moonlight. It just doesn't have a course, you know. It's like,
Mm.
oh, fans wanted this. Now we've saved them. On you go, you
I
know.
I also really enjoyed the Punisher series,
I saw
and I
that.
would
Yeah, it was really
I
good.
would I would really like to see John Berthel back
Oh
as
yeah,
Punisher, but
he was perfect.
again, we just don't know if it's going to happen. But I hope it does.
Because like, what would you see when you were saying the Punisher aspect of this comic book you're reading? What
Mm.
what story would you say you would want to see if John came back as like the next Punisher if he was able to do it?
Um,
Would you want like an isolated story where it's just him, or would you want it connected into a Daredevil
quite.
story? Or
See, it depends. Quite a good story to do would be the Punisher Max storyline,
hmm
because the reason I'm saying that, in Punisher Max, Jigsaw is in it for some of it, but he's
hmm
not really a big element. And obviously, Jigsaw is like Punisher's Joker,
Punisher's
like
guy,
his
is the
kind of
main
main
guy. Yeah.
villain. But they've kind of already done Jigsaw in season 2 of the Punisher, even though it wasn't great. I
Really?
don't think they
Yeah.
would have done it. They've already kind of addressed him, so they don't really need to. Like, I feel like so many kind of iconic Punisher stories are tied to Jigsaw. So if you want to do something like that doesn't rely on him, then do Punisher Max. But the thing there is, then you need to do things like, I mean, there's bits where he's like rescuing human slaves from like containers and stuff. Like it
Oh,
goes
getting
really dark,
dark.
that
Yeah.
series. So I don't know how much of that Disney would be willing to go to. Do you know what I mean? Um, Failing that, you could do that, the Nucci family story that I was just talking about
Yeah.
with Man Nucci and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I don't know how they could tackle it. But see, to be honest with you, although I don't really want them to reboot Daredevil, I would like them to reboot Punisher.
Mm.
Keep John Bernthal and keep him in that style, but redo Jigsaw and redo
Yeah, I thought Jigsaw
some of this
wasn't the
some of the
best.
stuff that wasn't handled that well in the show. I think that would be that'd be quite a good opportunity to kind of redo some of that stuff, but still have Berthel because he was a really good version. But John Berthel was asked about it, and he was like, "I have no idea." he was like,
No
because he,
clue.
he he was talking about something else, and they were like, "Oh, Punisher," and he was like, "Do it again," but I've not even thought about that show in ages because I'm doing other stuff. So I was like, "Fair enough."
Because like one thing, like when you mentioned it, when the Spider-Man No Way Home, he's more ground level, so that means
Mhm.
could you go into a more crime element with it? So with Daredevil, Punisher, and Spider-Man working as a trio to do some
No,
like detective stuff.
I think that would be a really. That's what I want to see for the MCU at this point. We've seen cosmic shit.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen space. We've seen time travel. We've seen multiverses. Like we've seen all this mad stuff. Just bring it right back down and just give us a basic street level story. Like that's what I want to see.
Aye. They've
Um,
got so many, like Kingpin can be the mad. You could have like a fucking trilogy. Kingpin's the baddie at the end,
yeah,
but like he has like certain dogs, and then you realize Spider-Man finds out that, oh fuck, Green Goblin's doing this, or no Green Goblin, but like all the other wee characters come in and make wee
yeah,
cameos, like Scorpion. Scorpion usually always
yeah.
worked, or Shocker used to always work for Kingpin in the
Rhino or
comics,
something.
or
Yeah,
Rhino, you know. And then Rhino has his wee things that he could be the slave captor, you know. Punisher goes and saves the slaves, you know. Could be crazy like that. That's really stupid, but like it's
I definitely want to see a story like that though. I like a smaller kind of ground level story because I just think we've been, or if you're going to do, if you want to split it like this, you could do like the movies
mhm,
or all the crazy multiverse shit. Like, see if you want all that stuff like multiverses and crazy cosmic shit,
mhm,
go and see the films. But see if you want to see a well told, tight kind of detective
narrative,
crime
yeah.
story, watch the TV shows. Like, see if they split it that way.
Mhm,
I think that would maybe be a bit clearer for people. Whereas the now it's like, oh, you've got Loki, which is dealing with the multiverse, and then
yeah,
you've got Hawkeye, which is just about him fighting criminals in New York. And it's just, I
aye,
really enjoyed Hawkeye. Don't get me wrong, but to go for Loki to Hawkeye, it just seems pure jarring. Like
yeah.
you're like, oh, a minute ago we were dealing with Kang, and now we're dealing with like
You're doing me something.
an auction in New York. It's like what? I just think they need to more clearly like specify what they're going for with what show. Because
Yeah,
that was like about Moon Knight. Going into Moon Knight, I thought that was a positive. I was like, oh, I have no idea what this is, what this could be. That's a brand new character. They can do whatever they want with it. Brilliant. And then by the end, after they did what they did with it, I was like, oh, I wish they hadn't done that because that last episode was shit.
yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
Check out our Moon Knight discussion below as well.
yes, definitely go. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I hope they do something with like this. They don't just do it as fan service for, oh, we got Daredevil for you, like we're listening to you. You know, I hope
Hmm.
that's not the kind of thing. But I think that's what they'll do. They'll. I don't think they'll continue another company's story. I think they'll say, right,
Hmm.
okay, we've got Charlie Cox. We'll change the suit, and any interaction with any other characters he has, we'll slightly tweak it. He might have a British accent instead of American accent. You never know. Um, imagine that. Imagine he had a British accent. That would be. I mean, his original accent. Um,
Yeah,
that would be
just it
weird.
as an accent.
That would be weird. Oh, but aye, I guess so.
I just don't screw it up. Like Daredevil's such a great character and one of my favourites, and
Aye, to
to
see
see
him.
him nerfed would really suck.
Yeah.
Um, 'Cause that's the thing in Marvel. A lot of my favourite characters are street level characters, like Spider Man, Punisher, Daredevil, Wolverine. Like they're all very much like the cosmic stuff. I do enjoy it, like Doctor Strange and whatever, but it's not my first. It's not why I read Marvel comics, to be honest. As for that shit, I more read it for the kind of more street level stuff. But that's just me personally, and that's why I prefer DC because I feel like DC blends it better with their street level stuff and then their kind of god stuff.
But I think like DC's got the grittiness down, and I think Marvel was always the positive story.
Yeah,
Now they are now trying to turn into the kind of gritty element of it, and it's not. Their characters are too positive, or either striving for that
I think
element.
not. See, I agree with you to some extent that DC are inherently darker than Marvel, but I also think that it can be done if they commit to it. Like,
Mm,
I think that's the problem. Like, because when you read the Max comics, like they deal with some serious
issues.
subject matter. Um, Whereas I think Marvel on TV and in movies, they want to have both. They want to be able to do kind
Mm,
of like 12A kid friendly movies, and then they also want to do some like Moon Knight type stuff. And it's like, well, see if you committed to one or the other, then it might work better.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, because that's the thing. Doctor Strange was quite gruesome. Some of it was really quite violent and quite adult and quite brutal.
See, that's one thing. Like, I think that was because of Sam Raimi, though. You definitely saw the Sam
Yeah,
Raiminess, like, and you definitely
100%.
saw. I think you saw most of it where the other Marvel guys were coming in and saying, "Oh, hold back here. Like, we'll let you take
Tone it
some
down.
things, but no
Well,
other things."
apparently it was meant to be more brutal than it was.
Oh, aye,
Um,
the original in the original script, because
yeah.
I did hear it got rewritten, and I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe that
So
explains some of it."
see, Captain Marvel,
Uh-huh.
Lashana Lynch's character, she was going to go first. Like, see when they were all in the courtroom and they heard Wanda fighting the Ultron bots outside.
Mm-hmm.
She would go originally. She was going to go on her own. She'd be like, "I'll go and deal with this," and then she wouldn't come back. And then that's when like Mr. Fantastic and Professor X and that would all go out, and then they would go out. The doors would open, like the automatic doors, and then Captain Marvel's head would roll in.
Oh fuck!
Like she would just ball her head into the room, and
Oh
it would just roll
no,
in, and
God!
then Wanda would just walk in behind the head. So
Oh
that was apparently in the original script, and Disney were like, "Nah, we can't do that. That's too much." So yeah, it was maybe even more messed up than it was.
but like it's. I mean, what did you think about that? I know you've talked about it in the discussion with Doctor Strange, but
Check it below.
do you really think that they've done that a good service, the Illuminati? Or do you think that was a reshoot? I was
Oh,
reshoot.
100%. It was. So we know it was a reshoot because Elizabeth Olsen never met John Krasinski. Um, it was originally meant to be Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig was going to be on the council. It wasn't confirmed whether he was going to be Mr. Fantastic or possibly Thor's brother. Thor has another brother, apparently, an older brother in the comic. And that would be who Daniel Craig would be playing. So he would either be a kind of Thor type character or Mr. Fantastic. But it was during the time that COVID hit. Really bad again, and Daniel Craig was in London, and they couldn't get over
Aye,
in
doing.
America to shoot it. So that's why they phoned John Krasinski, and that's why he was in it. So it was really last minute that he ended up in the film. So aye, that as you're saying, it was obviously a reshoot. But I don't know. I think it was fine. It was. I just put it down to it was an alternate universe. Like, okay, they all went out like punks, but who cares? Like, it's not our Mr. Fantastic, it's not our Professor X, it's not our Captain Marvel. Who
Yeah,
cares? Do you know what I mean? That's my kind of take on it. I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe you'd be like, oh, it's a bit, she killed him a bit easy, but maybe in that universe the superheroes aren't as good as ours. Like, I
they're not experienced enough.
just put it down to that. I don't know. I don't care.
Like I guess so. Like, but like it's going into quit. Like what I was hoping for, like, see, because in other universes, like I thought Doctor Strange would be played by other characters.
Hmm.
So then you could go into that element of Daredevil's a different character. Like Daredevil's Tom Cruise in a different universe, and he's in a
Yeah,
different suit. You know.
I would have liked to have seen. Would you call him Bruce Campbell as Doctor Strange? I think that'd be entertaining, but they never did it.
Or Mysterio.
Yeah,
You could have had
yeah.
him, the original
I know.
trilogy.
That's the thing. They've never really. I don't think they ever will, but they've never really explained how Spider-Man looks different in the other universes, but Doctor Strange looks the same in every universe. It's like, okay,
I know. Like, I mean, he's got a
it makes,
goatee in one universe that is a bit darker. Like, he's got a longer goatee.
but he still has the same face.
Yeah, he's a still
Whereas
face.
Spider-Man has a different face in each universe. So yeah, weird.
And
But
also Captain Marvel.
yeah,
But
well,
Prefer X, isn't he?
Cap, aye, exactly. Professor X looks the same, but Captain Marvel in the
Oh
universe we've seen
yes,
Doctor Strange,
isn't
that was
yeah.
a pal
That
for
was
the
a
original
pal.
one.
Yeah.
So what could have happened is she could have got blasted by that alien thing, and instead of Brie Larson, like I guess you could just put it down to that. But yeah, but Daredevil, I don't know. We'll talk about it when it comes on. I don't think it's going to be out for ages. They've said that
2024. I think.
aye,
I
they're
think
saying
it's
2023 the earliest, but probably 2024. That's what they're saying.
See now. I think I think this period is when they get rid of all the multiverses. I think multiverses is fun, and you can do in the future. You can jump into another universe if you want to, if you're writing a story. But this
So
is the cutting edge of
what
it.
what I originally thought was that Multiverse of Madness would end now in the comics House of M.
Yep.
It ends with Wanda saying no more
No more
mutants,
mutants.
and
Yeah.
I thought that the movie was going to end with her saying no more multiverse, and then the multiverse would close, and then that would be them done with the multiverse. But that obviously didn't happen. What I now think is going to happen, I think we keep kind of dancing around what they're building up to. I think what they're building up to is Secret Wars.
That's
where
quite a big thing though. They would need to lay a lot.
well, in the comic, obviously, Secret Wars is like different versions of characters
Different
fighting,
versions, yeah, fight each other.
and then at the end of that comic, the multiverse kind of closed or at least shut its doors. I don't know if the multiverse didn't cease to exist, but it kind of closed its doors, and then that's how Miles Morales and Old Man Logan came into the main Marvel universe
mainstream
from the different alternate ones. So I wonder if they'll do something like that. They'll do like Secret Wars, and again that'll end with Wanda saying no more multiverse, and then that's how they'll wrap up the whole multiverse story, and then they'll go into maybe more street level shit. I don't know. I kind of hope that's what happens because I want more street level shit.
Do you think it would? I mean, I'm guessing it won't now because you've got all the multiverse stuff. But do you think it would ever end? Like
Marvel?
Aye. Do you ever think it'll just never say? Right,
Marvel.
we've had enough.
I feel like I've already said this on the podcast at some point, but I think Marvel will keep going, like
until money drops.
Aye, until they lose money. Like if they keep making money for like as long as we are
alive,
kind of into it, then it'll outlive us. I think.
Yeah.
Like I think Kevin Feige's kids will take over and it'll just go forever. Like unless like it stops making money. I think if it stops making money, then they'll kind of they'll wrap it up and then they'll wait about 10 years and then they'll bring them all back. Do you know what I mean? That's probably what they'll do. The way that Star Wars kind of does when people get sick of that. But
they've done.
But until then, they'll just keep doing it.
They've got their wee own like community now. You know, like they've built up over 10 plus years, more than that, 20 years of people. So they've got $1 billion industry.
Yep.
Of any movie now, because people are just saying, "Aye, new Marvel movie, I'll go and see it." You know.
Yep.
They've not got like a kind of element of, I'm not really interested in it. It'll be connected somehow, and I'll watch it.
What I also think is fascinating, you're starting to get actors of such a high caliber coming in to play like small characters. Like, can you imagine the first Thor movie when it came out? Right? Mm-hmm. Can you imagine Christian Bale playing a villain that like who's Gore the God Butcher? Like nobody even knows who that is. Like 15 years ago, like there's no way that Christian Bale would have played that character in the first Thor. But by the time Thor 4's out and it's a huge franchise, you're getting actors like Kate Blanchett, Christian Bale. Who else? Like the other huge kind of established Helen Mirren's in Black Adam, for God's sake. Like you're getting all these like massive actors in these like dumb superhero movies. It's mental.
That's kind of got me thinking. Like, there's no way Christian Bale. Do you think he's in it for like a side element? I don't think so. I think he must. I don't think he would get killed off. I know he's Thor's kind of enemy.
I hope not. I hope. I hate when Marvel movies kill off the villain too early.
He's like no, but just even Christian Bale himself, he's like too big of an actor to just say right, one and done. You know.
I think it could go one of two ways. I think either Christian Bale signed up and said, like you're saying, I'll do this, but I want to expand the character and I want to date for a few years and I want to, keep me around kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Or the opposite, he's been like, listen, I'm busy. I can come in for one movie, but you need to kill me off because I've got. I think it's going to be one or the other.
I don't want to be another Batman franchise where I'm in 5. I have to commit to 5 movies.
Yeah.
But like I'm excited because anything Christian Bale does, it's not just because he's done Batman, but I'm definitely into it. And Hemsworth obviously has an audience, but Christian Bale brings another audience as well. So it's like he basically brung Batman to $1 billion by himself. So if he could bring that over to the bloody Thor universe, make it a $2 billion movie. I mean, we've already saw it with Spider-Man. No Way Home, it is happening. So
yeah, true.
Well, I'll be more excited for
that. And as much as that keeps happening, then we're just going to keep getting Marvel movies because they're making billions. So
I think they're going into the more gods element. I think now. I know Thor is like the god, but like they've bought with Moon Knight, they're dropping gods. Maybe they're going mythical now. You know, they went like multi-universe with Thanos. He was technically a god, and then they've got the Eternals, the Egyptian gods, and now fucking Christian Bale.
I'd like to see more god stuff because I think that's quite an unexplored side of Marvel. Because like DC's more known for the god stuff, whereas Marvel's not, other than Thor, isn't as known for it. So I'd take that.
But also that it's like things about like Vision. Like where is Vision in this? Like Did he just fucked off? I really thought he was going to be in Doctor Strange, so maybe he's because he's kind of the same power. He's got a stone, so he's quite godly. So maybe he comes in and fights Gore with Thor. Maybe I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know when I don't know. Well, I don't see. I was going to say I don't think we'll see him in Thor, but I don't know when we'll see Vision again. Like, because I don't. Right. So, what's her name? Elizabeth Olsen has signed on, even though she quote unquote died at the end of Doctor Strange when the thing falls on her. She signed on for another 7 years with Marvel. So.
Fuck me.
Yeah, I know. Imagine that
contract.
Imagine how much. I want to see how many zeros are on the bottom of that form.
Fucking more than 7 million. Fuck.
It must be crazy money, man. Well,
it's definitely 14 at least. Like
Downey Jr. got 42 million for the Endgame for one movie.
What?
Yeah,
a quarter. Was it not like 200 budget? So he basically got
something like that.
Oh my god!
But
he's amazing. He managed to negotiate.
The thing, no, it is amazing actually, because that pure top Marvel lesson. Like, see if you can read it in the history of it. When they made the first Iron Man movie, they also didn't know
it was going to be this big thing.
If it was going to take off. So he was paid $3 million or something for that first movie, but he was never given a contract. So they made that movie, and then they made the Hulk movie, but then they recast Hulk anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time they got to Captain America, Chris Evans signed a deal where it was like 4 years or 5 years. So he couldn't negotiate more per movie, whereas Downey Jr. never had that. So every time they wanted him, he could just say, I'll do it for 20 million. And then next one, 30 million. And then 40, it ended up being 42 million by the end. Crazy, man.
That's why he killed him.
I think it was definitely part of the reason now. I think they were like, right, we need to keep him around till Thanos is done, but after that, let's stop paying this guy. I get the combination of things. I think it made sense story-wise to kill Tony Stark. I think it was costing, but it was also costing Marvel a lot of money, and I think Downey Jr. was getting a bit sick because he was getting older. Yeah. And so I think it was a combination of all the things. I think that's why they killed him. But
I didn't realize it was 40 million. That's
so
crazy money.
Obviously, they're making actors sign contracts now, but they're also making a lot more money these movies. So, and Elizabeth Olsen has spoken recently about how she has had to miss on other roles because of Marvel. So I wonder if that's an incentive for them to say, right, we'll give you maybe no 42, but probably something like 28 million for like the next 7 years. I'd guesstimate somewhere about there. She's probably getting.
They probably give her that,
which is still insane money.
Like
it's crazy.
Box office rights though, so they'll probably say, right, that's what you'll get, but then you'll get bonus if whatever the movies get. You know.
Do you want to know something else, Mental? See how the first Avatar movie. See before, because the trailer for that's out, the sequel.
That came out.
So see the character, what's his name, Jake Sully. Before they casted him, obviously it's Sam Worthington. But see, before they cast Sam Worthington, they wanted Matt Damon. James Cameron wanted Damon to do it.
Oh, and, no! Fuck no.
So Damon said no. Damon was like, no, sorry, I'm busy and whatever. And I can't remember how much they offered him, but it was a lot of money, right? But he said, no, I'm too busy. Cameron went back to him and says, I will give you, I think it was maybe like 15 million to do it, and 5%, or was it 10% of the box office. Avatar is the highest box office movie of all time. Like, we're talking hundreds of billions. Like,
Jesus.
Like, even if it's only, let's say it's only 5%, what's 5% of like 14 billion? It's still like, that's hundreds of millions that Matt Damon could have had.
And he passed up on it.
And he passed on it.
Jake Sully got that. The guy that plays him. Can't remember his name.
I don't think so, because Sam Worthington's not as big a star as Matt Damon. Yeah. But I'm sure he's still making a decent amount of money, because Sam Worthington's one of the actors that he made a bunch of movies and then kind of
disappeared.
And the only thing I've seen him in since, so he made Avatar,
Gladiator,
that Terminator movie, and then that Wrath of Titans thing.
Class of Titans.
He made them. And then the only thing I've seen him in since then was that Mindhunter. No, Mindhunter. What was it called? The other one, Manhunter. Was that what it's called? Manhunt. The one about the Unabomber. And see him that plays Vision.
Yep.
He was the Unabomber. That was a really good series. Yep. That was a really good show. Yeah, Paul Bettany. And Sam Worthington was a kind of detective that was kind of chasing the Unabomber. So that's, I mean, actually, I've always thought that Sam Worthington is a wee bit wooden and like Avatar and
It's
stuff.
quite stale,
but in that show, I thought he was really good. I really enjoyed him in that series.
Well,
that's the only thing I've seen him in
years.
since until Avatar. So yeah.
I mean, they've got it. Like, he's definitely got the time. He's got how many years? Like 11 years of acting experience to get better in Avatar.
They've announced like Avatar 6 is coming out in like 2029 or something. It's mental.
Sake.
I know. It's like that.
Like they're really committed to this is going to be successful.
Crazy, man.
Like
Mental.
if you put it like, see, like I remember with Avatar was like a film where like you would all go out and just bring like your family. But like it was kind of at the pinnacle moment of like there was no streaming, anything like
that.
Yeah. Movies were just like you would go and see it. I think they were the last of the big movies. It is not going to make. It might make it. You never know. But like, I don't think it's going to, because like Marvel's got like a kind of history of audience. That's how it can make that big box office. There's no way that like blue people are going to make 2 billion.
I think it will make a shit ton of money, but I don't think it will make the same as the first one did. No, I agree with that.
I don't think it will be it.
But it would be quite funny if it came out and just failed, and they've planned like 4 movies over the next 10 years, and then it just makes no money. That would be quite funny.
It failed.
I don't think it will, but that would be quite funny.
Fucking hell! Imagine that they said, "Wait for Avatar 3," and it just didn't even make its budget. Oh, it's James Cameron would be sad. Oh, poor man.
Right, I think we've rambled on enough because we weren't even talking Daredevil anymore.
No. Just continue it.
If you enjoyed the 7th episode, 8th, 7th, I don't know,
9th, maybe.
But yeah, this is 8, right? I can't remember what I said at the start. But subscribe, next week we won't be around. It'll be a bonus episode going up, but we'll be back the following week to talk about Kenobi and shit.
Yes, Kenobi.
Yes. And Miss Marvel will be starting soon and stuff. So there's quite a lot happening in June.
There's 2 episodes of Kenobi as well, so we'll be able to jump into that.
There might be 3 by the time we record. I don't know. Anyway, stay tuned for that. Check out my stuff on Keen Gamer, and check out past episodes like Doctor Strange and Midnight and all that good shit. Like and subscribe, share on Facebook if you heavy lovers, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you on the next page.
Chris, we might see you with a better webcam next time, but who knows?
Definitely, I'll put that on a post-it for as a reminder.
I'm not gonna lie, right? There's a wee part of me that hopes you forget.
I will keep it though.
I don't know why.
I'll keep it I'll keep it in my wee. I'll keep it in
Mate, it's a backup.
As an emergency.
Exactly.
I mean, see, to be honest, it's worked more times than the one.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's been more consistent.
It's more reliable. Logitech, I might.
They don't make them like they used to.
I looked up. It's 2008.
Right.
That was purchased, so it's still got like the weird, the green, yellow, and wire, and then I need to connect it to USB. So
that's nuts, man. That's crazy.
That's why it's so fucking choppy.
That's why it's so delayed.
Well, anyway, guys, see you
next week.
See you in the moon.
Have a good one. See you in the moon. That's a good sign off.
See ya.